So in this stream, we are competing in a challenge called Kestra Academy. So this is an academy that teaches the orchestration platform called Kestra. So I am here to like go through it since it's a challenge here. You can go to the links. And honestly, I do not have any kind of idea. Just I wanted to like get started with it and see what I can like do. Lately, I have been preparing for interviews, and there is a system design, so it also covered that aspect of it. So I think it is good to try it out. So let's see. Let's try this. I have a login it, so let's start. Okay, so generally it is a workflow orchestration. And what is that? Think of symphony orchestra, dozens of musicians, each with their own instrument, all playing different parts. Some enter early, others wait for the cue. The violin section might play softly while the brass builds to a crescendo. Without a conductor to coordinate the timing, dynamics, and flow, you would have a chaos instead of music. So a conductor is like flutes, violin, trumpets, uh, clarinets, and cellos. Uh, so this conductor manages all of them in a rhythmic way or predictable way. Now imagine your work environment. You have a database that need syncing, APIs that need calling, reports that need generating, notifications that need sending, all at different times in different sequence. Sometimes depending on each other, just like an orchestra needs a conductor. Your systems need an orchestrator. So we have a scripts that runs. There is an AI agents. We have a notification section called alerting. Then we have a cloud providers, and here we have our database. And in the middle sits our orchestrator that handles all of these services. Okay. A workflow orchestrator coordinates your tools and processes, running multi-step workflows in the right order, monitoring for errors and handling them gracefully, triggering work based on schedules or events, providing visibility into what's happening and what went wrong. Consider a common scenario. Every morning, you need to pull data from your production database, clean and transform it, load it into your data warehouse, run some analytics on it, and email a summary to your team. You could do this manually or write scripts that you hope run correctly, or you could use a workflow orchestrator to manage every step, retry failures, log everything, and alert you if something breaks. That's what Kestra does. But before we start building workflow, let's understand what makes Kestra different to the other orchestrator. Is this what should I click? Listen completed. Should I go to the next one? Uh, okay, so this is how it's okay. Let's see the video. Okay, so now we are talking about Kestra as an open source platform. So Kestra is an open source orchestration platform built to handle workflows of any scale, from simple three-step automation to complex pipelines with hundreds of tasks running across distributed systems. Unlike tools that are built for a single use case and fall short outside that area, Kestra gives you flexibility. You can build a workflow with code, files, YAML files, visually with no code editor, or even with an AI copilot that writes your flow for you. Use whichever approach fits your style and the complexity of what you are building. Kestra is an API first and event driven, which makes it a natural fit for modern systems. It is also built to scale with the observability and control your need for everything from simple automations to mission critical enterprise workflows. Kestra is a language agnostic. Need to run a Python script? Go ahead. Want to call a shell command? No problem. Prefer Node.js or Julia? Well, I generally go with the Node.js because that's what I really like to work on it. So I guess I can work it. Kestra supports them all. This means you can use the right tool for each part of your workload rather than being locked into a single language over runtime. And because Kestra is built for real world systems, it connects to everything with over 1000 plugins. You can integrate with database, cloud platforms, APIs, message queues, monitoring tools, and more. Whether you need to orchestrate across databases, cloud storage, chat tools, or warehouses like PostgreSQL, AWS, Slack, and Snowflake, Extra can plug them into it without custom integration code. Okay, Mark is complete. So basically, it is an orchestration platform that handles workflow. And what do I mean by workflow? Okay, so let's start with our notepad and write every what is workflow in workflow and what does it do in orchestration platform like Kestra. Okay, let's also use ChatGPT to better understand what it is. Pipelines. Let's see, let's ask this question and use the thinking model. Yeah, this one. Mm. So, a workflow is a defined sequence of steps that accomplishes a task. Like we define for a CI/CD, right? Like some kind of YAML file that have steps or instruction of what kind of task to run. Think of it like recipe or assembly line. Okay, get to Indian. This is in software. Those steps might be things like fetch data from an API, validate it, transform it, store it in a database, send a notification. In an orchestrated platform like Kestra, a workflow is a thing that Kestra runs and manages. Kestra is the conductor, the workflow is the music score. Okay, so they are also like given this here, the music anatomy. Kestra helps you define what steps happen in what order, what depends on what to do if something fails, when to run it, or escalate with menu, trigger, etc. What workflow does in orchestration? A workflow usually handles automation, like removes manual work, sequence runs task in the right order, dependency management waits for one step before starting another, retry failure handling returns a failed steps, branches on errors, parallel execution, runs independent steps at the same time, observability, gives logs, execution history, status, and debugging. Okay, so like it has all the things that is need in any kind of production environment. Automations, sequencing, or batching. You can say run task and sequencing, I guess. Simple example is imagine a daily report pipeline. Pull sales data from database, clean the data, generate reports, upload to S3, email the team. That entire chain is the workflow. So a set of instruction, or you can say a task that is necessary to get the result, to get the result, and we do it manually in these steps. So we create workflows in Castra orchestration platform that can be like this will do the automation of it. So we don't have to do it manually and this saves time. So Kestra orchestrates it so you do not have to manually run each step or babysit failures like it is needy in turn. Why workflow matters in orchestration platform? Without orchestration, each step is just a separate code. Yep, that's what I thought in my mind. Like we have an automation, then we have a job running. Then we have a dependency management, like various npm packages and all that. I don't know how do they manage it, like in package.json file or any other way. Then we have any kind of middleware handler that you manage these failure logs. Then there is a parallel execution. So most of the thing I know is like related in Node.js. Like for parallel execution, I can think of worker threads or something along with the line. Now observability. So this is a tool that actually tracks the logs and histories and matrices of your application. So I think that is there, but let's see. Unless I jump into the code, I just only speculate. Without orchestration, each step is just a separate code. Yep. With orchestration, tasks become coordinated, system become reliable, schedules and retries can become standardized. A workflow is a structured set of tasks, and an orchestration platform like Kestra executes, coordinates, and retries and monitors. Okay, so this one a good one. I actually understood it. So, mm, 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 mm. so I basically so in for workflow, I basically create steps, and that workflow will follow that steps like in YAML file, right? Just like we have GitHub's we pipelines. Yeah, very close, but let's tighten your mental model so you don't build the wrong abstraction later. I define steps in YAML and the workflow executes them in order. Correct, but incomplete. Why? A workflow is not just a list of steps, it's directed path graph of task with execution rules. That sounds fancy, but here is the real world translation. Not always linear. Step 1 to 3 can branch, retry, run in parallel, wait for events, etc. Hmm. So in workflow is like execution plan, and the execution plan is defined in the list of steps that I put in my YAML file, plus control logic as well. So like, do I have to define my logic code as well? I mean, it's gonna be in the code part, but not in the YAML file itself, right? Okay, YAML-based definition, step-based execution, automation, and triggers. So yeah, it's a lot like it. They're cousin, not twins. So the difference is that in GitHub we build and deploy code. Here we orchestrate any process. Scope is a developer lifecycle. Mm, complexity. Test build deploys. Yeah. ETL data pipelines, microservices workflow. Mm, mm. So customer workflow it will be like this: fetch data. If data is valid, process it, store it, notify success. If not, then send alert. Or if it's called failure, then retry on failure. Otherwise, run some test in parallel. Key shift you need to internalize. CI/CD run these steps when code changes. Orchestration is like coordinate a system of tasks with logic, dependency, and failure handling. Common beginner mistakes. People treat orchestration tools like glorified cron jobs or CI pipelines. That's limiting. You should be thinking event-driven systems, distributed processes, long running. Yes, you define steps in a YAML and the workflow executes them. But more importantly, you define how they relate, when they run, what happens on a failure, which can run in parallel, how data flows between them. If you want next level understanding, I can walk you through how overflow become tag internally. Well, not currently. Since I have marked this completed, let's go on next one. But before that, let's have our hydration check. Hmm, Kestra Academy use cases. Okay, so Kestra data pipeline, extract data from APIs and databases, transform it with Python SQL, infrastructure automation, provides provision cloud resources, deploy business process automation, summarize daily activity and email reports to stakeholders, monitor support and quiz, and automatically create tickets for urgent issues. AI workflow, build guard goal driven workflows around AI agents, define what the agency is trying to achieve and give it the right tools. Whatever your use case is, Kestra provides the organization foundation to make it reliable, observable, and maintainable. Now let's get Kestra installed so you can start building your own workflows. Okay, so let's ask another question. So I would like to know the use cases of any orchestration platform and why the Kestra is different from them, and also list the currently available other orchestration platform. So, this is very more from I know YAML workflow science. Why companies pay money for this stuff? Yeah, that's what I actually wanted to understand. Why should I pay for it? Let's break it like a real system designer would. Okay, a real world use case of orchestration platforms are think production systems. Forget theory. Think production systems. Okay, I'm thinking data pipelines. Most common entry point extract data with use of API, DB, and Kafka. Transform it like clean aggregate ML features. load into warehouses like a Snowflake and BigQuery. This is a classic ETL, extract, transform, and load. Tools like Apache Airflow were literally built for this. What it is? For automatically authoring, scheduling, and monitoring complex workflows with data pipelines using Python. Directed acyclic graphs, where each node is task and edge is defined in order by Airbnb. Okay. Apache Airflow is now top-level project with Apache software foundation and values in modern data engineering stacks. Extract, transform, and load. So that is where this ETL comes from. Basically, you extract data from the raw data using API and storing it to DB and managing that flow with the Kafka. Now you transform the data to your business requirements so you can able to read it, then work some aggregation pipeline on them. Then there is a ML feature, and that refined data you store in the Snowflake. Is that what it means? Backend job automation, your domain, like process payments, generating invoices, sending emails, syncing services. So instead of writing cron, service try logic, quiz, logs, and error handling that I usually do for example, for integration of process payments, you offload it to a workflow engine, cleaner backend, less do-it-yourself, distributed system hell. AI ML pipelines. Modern companies use orchestration for model training, data pre-processing, evaluation, deployment, and retraining loops. Kestra explicitly supports AI workflows pipelines in one system. Where it is taking? Okay, so this is uh, uh, infrastructure automation like DevOps. Spin up infra, deploy services, run migration, validate health, rollback on failure. Think Terraform plus script checks. Event-driven systems. Instead of cron jobs run every 5 minutes, you do run when file arrives, run when Kafka events comes, run when API triggers. This is a modern architecture. Kestra supports event-driven triggers like Kafka, Webhook, etc. natively. Business workflows underrated use case. Use sign up, verify email, verify CRM, trigger onboarding emails. This is orchestration across multiple services. Hmm. Hmm. Or coordinate multiple services. Why Kestra is different? This is where nuances matters. Most developers compare tools superficially. Don't. Let's go deeper. YAML based, not code based. Most tools like Airflow, Python directed acyclic graphs, perfect like Python decorators. Their Kestra is like pure YAML orchestration. Logic stays in these files. Separation of concern is that orchestration does not mean or equal to business logic. Is it read? Is it non-developers? Less framework lock-in. Language agnostic. So, what if you hack around it? Run anything. This is a huge for real teams. Language agnostic. Event driven by design, not an afterthought. So Airflow is so they are actually comparing the real world other Apache Airflow, then Prefect, then there is Kestra. Event driven by design, not an afterthought. Originally schedule first, event driven come later. Event driven is the core concept in Kestra. This align with modern backend architectures. Yep. So event driven architecture will natively support this Kestra, I guess. One platform for everything. Airflow for data, temporal for backend workflow, step function for release. Into everything. Data, infra, business, AI workflows in one place. Mm, Declarative orchestration. Instead of how to execute, you define what should happen. Three popular orchestration platform you should know this: Apache Airflow, Prefect, Dagster, Mike. What is this? Yeah, strong in ETL pipelines. Extract, transform, and load. Modern general orchestration is temporal. Yeah, I have heard of it. Temporal and Kestra. Yeah. Cloud native orchestration or AWS, Azure Data Factory, tightly coupled with cloud ecosystems. As a compare, honest reality check, no superclouding. Industry standard still dominant. Temporal, extremely powerful but complex. Rising fast, but ecosystem is still growing. Learn Airflow for job security. Learn Kestra for future ready mindset. Final mental model. CI/CD orchestrate code deployment, orchestration platform, system and process. And Kestra specifically, infrastructure is a code mindset applied to workflow, but without forcing you into one language. If you want to level up important next step, I'd push you to build this AI Kafka workflow, Kestra workflow triggered by event, process plus retry notify. That's literally mid-level senior lead production skill. Well, let's see what I have got. Set up a Castra. Now this is how I do it. I have to install a Docker. In this section, you will install the Kestra on your local machine using Docker Compose and configure your environment. This setup closely mirrors the product server, so the workflow you will build here will behave the same way later. Oh damn, I have to install Docker. I wonder if I can machine even handle it, that part. Mm, 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 mm. Can I do anything around it? Windows, Docker installation, Windows. So this is the Docker desktop. So in my setup, okay, this might come in handy. So while it's loading, let's look at plugin and blueprints concepts. So there are a few concepts like flows, task, input, output, triggers, expression, flow, flowable task, execution secrets. So these are the things I guess for WSL. Mm, okay, so I think this is it for today. We'll continue going through this Castra Academy for tomorrow.